You know poop is coming, but you know you have nothing to fear. Pampers Swaddlers with new blowout barrier helps prevent up to 100% of leaks, even blowouts. Don't fear blowouts with Pampers Swaddlers.
Looking to earn free diapers? Download Pampers Club now.
Who is Apocalypse? Well, today I'll tell you everything you need to know about Marvel's big blue bad guy. I'm Chad, and welcome out to Who Is, the show that does all the reading for you, leaving you more time to masturbate. The year was 1986, and Marvel needed a Magneto-level villain for their new X-Men series called X-Factor. Someone with a feeling of certain doom wherever they go. So, Apocalypse was created. Aside from super strength, he was incredibly intelligent and immortal. Before we get going, due to the fact that Apocalypse's story deals with time travel, I'm just going to go through his story in chronological order as it pertains to him, not comic issues. Apocalypse was born in ancient Egypt and was abandoned by his tribe because, he looked kind of different. Not long after being abandoned, a group of raiders called the Sandstormers found him, raised him, and their leader Baal gave him the name En-Saba-Nur, which means the first one. And that's pretty appropriate considering he's literally the first mutant ever. It's kind of his thing. Baal raised him to believe in survival of the fittest and the prophecy that one day he would defeat the pharaoh Rama-Tut. When he was all grown up, Nur almost did, except it turns out that the would-be pharaoh was actually a time traveler from the future, and since he was found out, he just pieced out of there back to his own time. But Rama-Tut's general Ozymandias wasn't as lucky. He got turned into a sand person that could see the future. Not wanting to waste that talent, Nur made him his biographer bitch for the rest of time. Nur spends the next several hundred years creating and leading a clan of warriors that he called Clan Aqaba. They go fight different civilizations while Nur convinces the natives that he's actually a god. One of their stops was in Mongolia, where Nur acquired something very important to his character, the Celestial Ship. The Celestials are an alien race with untold cosmic power, and we're cool with Nur using their ship as long as he agreed to one day pay a heavy price. Since it wasn't now, Nur was all for it. With his new flying base of operations, Apocalypse spent his time going back and forth between fighting wars or chilling in suspended animation on the ship. Though almost every time Apocalypse would wake up, this guy known as the Traveler would appear and try and stop him. The Traveler was actually the person who came closest to killing Apocalypse at the time, but instead he accidentally left some of his techno-organic virus-infused blood behind, which Ozzy used to heal Apocalypse and turn him into the kind of robot form we all know and love today. Spoilers, the Traveler was Cable. Apocalypse continues his usual war-nap combo until eventually, in 1859, he came across a scientist researching mutants and gave him powers, turning him into Mr. Sinister. But when their plan to spread a plague all over London was stopped by a time-traveling Jean Grey and Cyclops, Apocalypse decided to go back to nap time on his ship. He sleeps pretty much until the 1980s, besides a brief moment where he woke up to kill Dracula. Apocalypse intended to sleep for a couple more centuries, but in 1986, he was awoken by Cable's birth. Now, depending on which version you want to believe, Apocalypse either sends his riders to go grab Cable when he's an infant, or he waits until Cable is 5 and then does it. Either way, needing to fulfill the life-preserving time paradox, young Cable is taken so that he can be given the techno-organic virus. Yes, Apocalypse got the virus from Cable in the first place. Don't try and think about it too hard. It starts to hurt. Long story short, the kid gets infected, rescued by his parents, and then sent.
Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we found out she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
At first, we thought the problem was our puppy.
Look, what's in a clue?
Or something outside.
But the culprit was our old detergent.
Aha!
So we switched to Tide Pods Free and Gentle. It cleans better and doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
And it has no dyes or perfume, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
Tide Free and Gentle is EPA Safer Choice certified. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide.
Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we found out she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
At first, we thought the problem was our puppy.
Look, what's in a clue?
Or something outside.
But the culprit was our old detergent.
Aha!
So we switched to Tide Pods Free and Gentle.
It cleans better and doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
And it has no dyes or perfume, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
Tide Free and Gentle is EPA Safer Choice certified. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide.
To the future so that he can be treated and keep and tried to destroy the Savage Land, but failed every single time because, he's the villain. But Apocalypse gets a real taste of world domination when Professor Xavier's own future son, Legion, tries to go back in time to kill Magneto, but kills Xavier instead. That meant no Professor X-trained X-Men to get in the way, which left the door wide open for Big Blue, and the Age of Apocalypse began. Everything's coming up mutant roses, the humans are penned up, the Summers brothers are working for Mr. Sinister, and lots of former heroes are now under Apocalypse's command. Things are great until Magneto led the X-Men team to go get a space crystal and used it to send Bishop back in time to stop Legion from killing anyone, ending the Age of Apocalypse before it can even start. This is how it ended originally, but for the 10-year anniversary, Marvel retconned the Age of Apocalypse by saying that when Bishop went back in time, it moved everything to an alternate dimension known as Earth 295. Back on normal Earth, known as 616, the next major Marvel event had Apocalypse trying his hand at being a good guy. After taking enough of Magneto's shit, Professor X tried to shut his mind down, but got a little close for comfort and ended up merging them to create Onslaught. Apocalypse had just pulled up a chair and grabbed some popcorn to watch the world burn when Uatu the Watcher was like, "Hey, I usually just watch things, but you should probably, help." So Apocalypse joined forces with Cable to go rescue Sue and Reed Richards' superchild from Onslaught. But his idea of rescue was kill, and no one else was really cool with that, so he peaced out. A couple more big plans of world domination are attempted, but neither ends particularly well for Apocalypse. The first involved trying to obtain the power of the 12 strongest mutants, but it ended with Apocalypse merging with Cyclops, then Jean Grey ripped Apocalypse out and kicked him to the astral plane curb. The other involved trying to get everyone on Earth to just fight each other, but that ended with another ass whooping so bad he was about to die, until the Celestials showed up and healed him, all to finally collect that debt for using their ship. We don't get to see what the actual price is, but it probably wasn't good. More recently, Apocalypse's clan managed to make a new En-Sabah-Nur. This kid doesn't share any of the original Apocalypse's memories or beliefs, so he could actually be a decent person if Clan Aqaba doesn't totally screw up his mind. Sure is gonna be hard to do that though after X-Force member Phantom X splattered said mind on the carpet. But Capita Kid weighed heavily on Phantom X's conscience, and he ended up creating his own Apocalypse clone named En-Sabah-Nur. Then he raised to be a hero and sent to the Jean Grey School for higher learning. Time will tell what becomes of young Evan, but he's probably gonna turn evil, just saying. If you want to jump into reading about Apocalypse yourself, catch Kid Apocalypse in the all-new X-Men right now, and X-Men Apocalypse will be in theaters really soon. Thanks for watching, everybody, and come back next time to find out who is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' favorite rec sport superstar, Casey Jones. If you want to see more Who Is, then hit this box for all you need to know about Black Panther, or click up here for a mystery video. Could be anything. Maybe you want to buy some of this sweet merch right here, like a shirt I'm wearing. There's probably a link for that. Eh? See you next time!